there, and welcome to the Retirement Wealth Podcast. We're so glad you could join us today.
Absolutely. It's great to have you here.
You know, one of the biggest concerns people have as they approach retirement is how to generate income. And a lot of folks are looking into real estate as a solid option for that.
Right. Real estate can be a fantastic way to build wealth and create a steady income stream during retirement.
So today, we're diving into the best places to invest in real estate for retirement income.
We'll explore some key markets that are really promising, touch on different types of properties, and even discuss how location can impact your investment return.
And don't forget about the potential tax benefits and how to manage those properties, whether you're thinking about vacation rentals or long-term tenants.
Exactly. We want to make sure you have a well-rounded understanding of what to look for and how to maximize your investment.
Plus, we'll share some tips on how to evaluate your options. It's all about making informed decisions that align with your retirement goals.
So if you're considering adding real estate to your retirement plan, stick around. There's a lot to unpack, and we're here to guide you every step of the way.
Let's jump right in. Where should we start, David?
You know, Emily, when we talk about investing in real estate for retirement income, it's really important to understand why this matters right now. I mean, we're living in a time when our retirement timelines are shifting, right?
Absolutely. A lot of people are reevaluating their plans, especially with the uncertainty we see in the markets these days.
Exactly. And with inflation being a big concern, many retirees are feeling the pinch. Their fixed incomes just don't stretch as far anymore.
Yeah, I've heard so many stories about folks who thought they had a solid plan, but now they're struggling to keep up with rising costs.
Right. I recently spoke with a couple who were planning to travel more in retirement. They had saved diligently, but the rising costs of everything from groceries to gas have made them rethink their plans.
That sounds tough. So real estate can be a way to create a more stable income stream, right?
Exactly. Real estate tends to appreciate over time, and it can provide a buffer against inflation. Plus, rental income can be a great way to supplement Social Security and other retirement funds.
Speaking of Social Security, I've seen folks worried about changes there too. It seems like every year there's talk about adjustments or cuts.
Yes, and it's something people need to consider in their planning. You know, relying solely on Social Security might not be enough anymore. It's crucial to have other income sources.
So real estate can really help with that. But what about market volatility? We've seen some wild swings lately.
That's a great point. Real estate often behaves differently than the stock market. It can provide more stability for retirees. I had a client who was really anxious during the last market downturn. They had a large portion of their portfolio in stocks, and the stress was palpable.
I can imagine. What did they end up doing?
Well, we discussed diversifying into some rental properties. They were hesitant at first, but once they saw the potential for steady income, they felt much more secure.
That's encouraging. And I think there's also the tax efficiency aspect to consider.
Absolutely. Real estate can offer some tax advantages. For instance, many retirees benefit from depreciation deductions, which can offset rental income and reduce their overall tax burden.
That's a win-win. And, you know, healthcare costs are another huge concern for retirees.
Definitely. As we age, healthcare costs often increase. It's a significant part of retirement planning. Having rental income can help cover those unexpected medical expenses. I had a retiree once who faced some substantial health issues. They were grateful for the rental income they had, as it allowed them to manage those expenses without diving into their savings.
That's such a relief for them. And then there's the emotional side of financial security in retirement.
Right. It's not just about the numbers on a spreadsheet. It's also about peace of mind. Knowing you have a steady income can reduce anxiety, allowing retirees to enjoy their golden years without constant worry.
I love that. It's about living your life, not just surviving.
Exactly. And we also need to think about legacy planning. Many people want to leave something behind for their children or grandchildren. Real estate can be a great way to build wealth that can be passed on.
And with property values typically appreciating, it can really add up over time.
Yes, and it also provides a tangible asset, something that can be appreciated and cherished by family members.
So all these factors really highlight the importance of considering real estate investments right now.
For sure. With current economic trends and the uncertainty we face, diversifying income streams through real estate can be a smart move.
So where do we go from here? What core strategies should people consider?
So Emily, let's dive into some of these core strategies for investing in real estate for retirement income. One of the first things people often ask is, what's the best way to get started?
Right. And I think a lot of folks might not realize how real estate can fit into their overall retirement plan.
Exactly. It's not just about buying a property and hoping for appreciation. There are so many layers to this. For instance, a common strategy is to invest in rental properties. The idea is to generate consistent cash flow, right?
Yes, definitely. And that cash flow can be really helpful, especially when you're no longer in the workforce. But what about the upfront costs?
Good point. You'll typically need a significant amount for a down payment, often around 20% of the property's value. But, there are ways to mitigate that. Some people might consider using a mortgage, which allows them to leverage their investment.
So they're using borrowed money to invest?
Right. The idea is that if your rental income exceeds your mortgage payment and other expenses, you're in a good position. Just make sure you have a solid plan for managing those costs, like property taxes and maintenance.
And what about the tax benefits? I hear real estate can offer some pretty nice deductions.
Absolutely. Homeowners can often deduct mortgage interest, property taxes, and even depreciation. It can be a big advantage, especially when you're looking to optimize your tax situation in retirement.
Speaking of taxes, how do these real estate investments fit in with other accounts like IRAs or 401ks?
Great question. So real estate isn't directly held in those tax-advantaged accounts, but you can invest in real estate investment trusts, or REITs, within an IRA. This allows you to benefit from real estate without the need to manage a physical property.
That sounds like a good option for those who might not want the hands-on experience of being a landlord.
Exactly. And REITs can provide dividends, which can be a nice income source during retirement. Just remember, the income from those dividends is taxable unless it's in a tax-advantaged account.
Right, so managing where that income comes from is key. Now, we've talked about real estate and REITs, but what about other investments like stocks and bonds?
Well, they play a crucial role in a balanced retirement portfolio. A common rule of thumb is the 70-30th portfolio, 70% in stocks and 30% in bonds. This allocation can help balance growth potential with risk management.
And that balance can really help smooth out the ups and downs of the market, right?
Exactly. Stocks can provide higher returns, but they come with volatility. Bonds are typically more stable and can offer some income. It's all about finding what works best for your risk tolerance and retirement goals.
So if someone is closer to retirement, they might want to shift that allocation a bit more toward bonds?
Yes, many advisors suggest gradually moving to a more conservative allocation as you approach retirement age. This way, you're protecting your nest egg from market downturns while still allowing for some growth.
And then there's the 4% rule. Can you explain how that works?
Sure. The 4% rule is a guideline for how much you can withdraw from your retirement savings each year without running out of money. It's based on historical returns and assumes a mix of stocks and bonds.
So if someone has $1 million saved, they could withdraw about $40,000 a year?
Exactly. But keep in mind, this is a guideline, not a hard and fast rule. Market conditions, inflation, and personal spending needs can all impact how much you should withdraw.
That makes sense. And I guess that's why some people prefer the bucket strategy?
Right. The bucket strategy divides your assets into different buckets based on when you'll need the money. For example, you could have a short-term bucket with cash and bonds for immediate expenses, a medium-term bucket for income in the next few years, and a long-term bucket with stocks for growth.
So it's about having a clear plan for each stage of retirement?
Exactly. It helps reduce the stress of market fluctuations on your immediate cash needs. And don't forget about Social Security optimization. That can really affect your overall retirement income.
Ah, yes. Timing your Social Security benefits can be crucial. What are some strategies around that?
Well, the general advice is to delay taking benefits as long as possible, ideally until age 70. This way, you can maximize your monthly benefit. If you start earlier, your benefit might be reduced significantly.
So for some people, it might make sense to wait especially if they have other income sources in the meantime?
Absolutely. It's all about evaluating your individual situation. Some might need the income earlier, while others can afford to wait and reap the benefits later.
And what about diversification? How important is that across all these different investment types?
Diversification is key. It helps spread risk. If one sector is down, like real estate, having other investments can help cushion the impact. A well-diversified portfolio typically includes a mix of stocks, bonds, real estate, and possibly alternative investments like commodities.
I guess that goes back to the idea of not putting all your eggs in one basket, right?
Exactly, Emily. And remember to review your allocations periodically. Life changes, and so should your strategy.
That's a great point. Speaking of changes, are there common pitfalls people should avoid when investing for retirement?
Oh, definitely. There are several, and they can really impact your long-term success. Let's talk about those next. You know, Emily, one of the biggest pitfalls I see with clients when they're planning for retirement is something called sequence of returns risk.
Oh, that sounds like a technical term. What does that actually mean for someone planning their retirement?
Well, it refers to the order in which investment returns occur, particularly in the early years of retirement. If the market takes a downturn right when you start withdrawing funds, it can really impact your long-term sustainability.
Ah, I see. So if someone is relying on their investments to live off of and they face losses early on, that could be detrimental, right?
Exactly. Let me give you an example. I had a client, let's call him Tom. He retired in 2008, right before the financial crisis hit. He had a solid nest egg, but he was withdrawing money to cover living expenses. With the market down, he was selling investments at a loss to fund his retirement. It really put him in a tough spot.
Wow, that's tough. So what could he have done differently?
He could have created a more diversified withdrawal strategy, perhaps keeping a portion of his portfolio in safer investments to ride out the market fluctuations. It's about having a balance, you know?
Totally makes sense. What are some other common mistakes you see?
Another biggie is ignoring the tax implications of withdrawals. Many people don't realize how their withdrawals can affect their tax situation, especially when it comes to Social Security benefits.
Right, because if you withdraw too much too quickly, it could push you into a higher tax bracket, right?
Exactly. I had a couple, let's call them Sarah and John. They started withdrawing from their traditional IRA without considering how it would affect their taxes. They ended up having to pay more in taxes than they expected, which cut into their retirement income.
Oh no, that's frustrating. So how can someone avoid that pitfall?
A good strategy is to work with a financial advisor to determine a tax-efficient withdrawal strategy. They can help you figure out the best accounts to withdraw from at different times to minimize taxes.
That sounds really helpful. What about healthcare costs? I feel like that's something a lot of people underestimate.
You're spot on, Emily. Healthcare costs can be a huge expense in retirement. Many people don't factor in the rising costs of healthcare and long-term care. I've seen retirees completely blindsided by medical expenses.
Do you have an example of that?
Yes, there's Judy. She planned for a comfortable retirement, but didn't account for her health needs. By the time she turned 70, she ended up needing a lot of medical care, and her savings dwindled quickly. She had to make some really tough choices.
That's heartbreaking. So what should someone do to prepare for that?
It's important to have a healthcare plan. This includes looking into supplemental health insurance, long-term care insurance, and setting aside funds specifically for medical costs.
Got it. What else tends to go wrong for retirees?
Poor asset allocation is another common issue. A lot of people keep their portfolios too conservative or too aggressive as they age. It's essential to adjust your investments based on your risk tolerance and time horizon.
That's interesting. Can you elaborate?
Sure, I had a client, Mike, who was overly conservative with his investments. He was afraid of market volatility, so he kept most of his money in cash and bonds. Unfortunately, with low returns, he wasn't keeping pace with inflation. He found himself struggling to maintain his lifestyle.
That's a tough spot to be in. How can retirees figure out the right asset allocation?
A good approach is to regularly review and rebalance your portfolio. You want to ensure your investments align with your retirement goals and risk tolerance. Consulting with a financial advisor can really help here.
Definitely. And what about Social Security? I've heard people can mess that up too.
Absolutely. Claiming Social Security too early is a common mistake. Many people take it as soon as they can at age 62 without realizing the long-term implications.
Right, because if you wait longer, you can get a higher benefit, correct?
Exactly. I had a client, Linda, who claimed at 62 because she needed the money. She didn't realize that if she had waited until 70, her benefits would increase significantly. Now she's living with much less than she could have.
That's a crucial point. What should someone consider when deciding when to claim?
It's important to evaluate your financial situation, health, and lifestyle needs. Sometimes, waiting can make a huge difference in your overall retirement income.
So with all these potential pitfalls, how can someone spot red flags early in their retirement planning?
A good strategy is to regularly review your retirement plan and financial situation. Questions like, are my investments still aligned with my goals? Am I prepared for unexpected expenses? Those are crucial to ask.
That makes sense. And if someone does find themselves in a tough situation, what's the best way to recover?
Well, the first step is to reevaluate and adjust your plan. It's also wise to consult with a financial advisor who can help you make informed decisions and get back on track.
So staying proactive is key, right?
Absolutely. And remember, it's never too late to make changes that can enhance your financial future.
Great advice, David. Thanks for sharing these insights.
My pleasure, Emily. It's all about empowering people to take control of their retirement journey. All right, so let's get into some actionable steps that listeners can take right now to really get moving on their retirement plans.
Yeah, I think that's super important. Sometimes it can feel overwhelming, but breaking it down into manageable steps makes it so much easier.
Exactly. So first off, one of the best things you can do is to review your investment portfolio quarterly. Just a quick check-in to see how everything is performing. You know, it's like a routine health check for your finances.
That makes total sense. And I imagine it helps people stay on track with their goals, right?
Absolutely. And if you haven't already, consider using some online tools to help with that process. Websites like Vanguard, Fidelity, and Schwab offer retirement calculators that can give you a clearer picture of where you stand.
Oh, I love those. They can really show you how adjustments in your savings or investment strategy might affect your retirement income.
Definitely. Plus, it's good to run retirement projections regularly. It helps you visualize your future and can motivate you to make changes if necessary. If you find you're not on track, you can adjust your contributions or reallocate your investments.
Right, and speaking of adjustments, what about tax considerations? That can be a tricky area for a lot of folks.
Great point. You might want to consider using tax software, especially as you approach retirement. It can help you plan your withdrawals and understand how they'll impact your tax situation. Websites like ssa.gov can also provide valuable information on Social Security benefits, which is crucial for retirement income.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. Knowing how to manage your Social Security benefits is huge. Are there any specific financial planning apps you'd recommend?
Yeah, there are several great apps out there. For instance, Personal Capital is excellent for tracking your investments and net worth. And Mint can help with budgeting, which is key for keeping expenses in check during retirement.
Those sound really useful. It's amazing how technology can simplify our financial planning.
For sure. And, I'd also recommend picking up a good book or two on retirement planning. The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey is a classic. It provides solid principles for managing money.
I've heard a lot about that one. Any other books on your list?
Yes, How Much Money Do I Need to Retire by Todd Treseter is another excellent resource. He breaks down complex concepts into really digestible pieces, which can be super helpful.
Those are great suggestions. Also, listening to podcasts can be a fantastic way to learn while you're on the go.
Absolutely. There are some great retirement-focused podcasts out there. The Retirement Answer Man is one I often recommend. It covers a wide range of topics and really engages listeners.
Oh, that sounds interesting. I love how you can find so much valuable information in so many formats these days.
Exactly. And, one habit that I encourage people to develop is to set aside time each month to educate yourself, whether it's reading, listening, or even participating in webinars. Just keep learning about financial strategies and investment options.
That's really motivating. It's like you're investing in your knowledge as much as in your actual retirement funds.
Right? And it's never too late to improve your plan. Whether you're 5 years away from retirement or 10, there are always adjustments you can make. Even small changes can have a big impact.
So true. Just taking that first step can lead to so much improvement down the road.
And remember to connect with a financial advisor if you're feeling stuck. A professional can provide personalized guidance based on your unique situation. It's worth the investment.
Definitely. Having that support can make a world of difference.
So those are some practical first steps. Now let's bring this all together. Well, as we wrap up, I think it's important to highlight a few key takeaways from our discussion on the best places to invest in real estate for retirement income.
Absolutely, David. One big point is the importance of location, right? Investing in areas with strong job growth and population increases can really boost your rental income potential.
Exactly. And then there's the idea of diversifying your real estate investments. Exploring different types of properties, like residential versus commercial, can help spread risk and enhance your income stream.
Right, and we can't forget about the benefits of real estate investment trusts or REITs. They offer a way to invest in real estate without the hassle of property management, which can be a real game changer for some retirees.
For sure, and we talked about the importance of understanding the tax implications too. Smart tax strategies can really maximize your returns.
Definitely. It's all about making informed decisions that will help build and protect your retirement wealth, so you can enjoy this new chapter of life.
That's a great point, Emily. Planning isn't just about saving. It's about creating a sustainable income that lasts.
So, if you found today's episode helpful, we'd love for you to like, subscribe, and comment with your biggest takeaway or any questions you have. And, if you know someone who's planning for retirement or is already in it, share this episode with them.
Yes, sharing knowledge is so important.
And next time, we'll dive into Social Security taxation explained. It's a crucial topic that can really impact how much you get to keep of your benefits.
Looking forward to that discussion. It's a big piece of the retirement puzzle.
Me too. Thanks for joining us today. And remember, building your retirement wealth is a journey. Let's make it a rewarding one together.
Take care, everyone.
Bye for now.